Hi y'all, we lit, we live, back with another video, man. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing elbow, better understand itself. So I'm going here from the criminal lawyer. We know Diddy got 4 years. I'm gonna hear from this criminal lawyer and see what he got to say. Let me have my son. Hey dudes, close this door for me. Oh, yeah. Close this door for me right here. But let's get to it, man.
Sentence that does take into account acquitted conduct. So he wasn't convicted of beating Cassie, but the court can take that into consideration when he fashions a remedy in this case, and he looks at the whole person. So the prosecution's asking for 135. The defense is asking for 14. You want my prediction? I'm not going to give it to you.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your very own tongue-tied, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Today, we are reacting to the Diddy sentencing. It's tomorrow, so I'm going to make a prediction. My prediction, your addiction is your affliction. Before we get to this prediction, and I'm going to go through the guidelines with you here, this episode is brought to you by AskALawyer.com. If you're sitting in a metropolitan jail cell in New York City and you think, God, I should have called AskALawyer.com before I decided to have people lathered up in all kinds of baby oil, well, you would have done yourself a service. For $49, you could have gotten advice. Don't do that, Mr. Diddy. So you should have gotten a hold of AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com is an effective way to either help you with a case if you're doing your own legal research, or get you on the way to help you figure out what you should be doing. If you're somebody suing you, or you want to sue somebody else, they'll get you where you need to go. You get a living, breathing lawyer for $49. You can't beat that. That's a really good deal. Plus, if you're doing your own legal research, they've got an AI component that's trained in all the 50 states. So for $49, you can get to where you need to go. AskALawyer.com. Okay, 34. We're going to show you the grid here in a second. But if it's not sex trafficking, it's a level 14. So you start out with zero criminal. Let's say Mr. Wonderful has zero criminal history, which I assume he probably does. So that means you're on the 1. So you have criminal history category 1, so 0 or 1. And you go to 14 on the side, the offense severity level. That's 15 to 21 months. Now, you go through the specific offense characteristics, and there's different. If the offense involved more than one victim, Chapter 3 would apply. If subsection A2 applies, then the offense involved fraud or coercion increased by 4 levels. So if the judge believes that, whether it was Cassie or somebody else was subject to some form of coercion, and there's evidence that they were, then you increase it by 4 levels. And if you increase by 4 levels, that brings you up to 18. So that gives you 27 to 33 months. Doesn't seem like a long sentence, does it? Well, just recently, Diddy's lawyers filed a last-ditch effort to throw out the case or have a new trial. This is what's happened here. The Judge Arun Subramanian rejected Diddy Combs' request for a new trial and the rapper's demand for an acquittal days before his scheduled sentencing. Subramanian said that the prosecution provided overwhelming evidence of Diddy's guilt on the charges of transportation to engage in prostitution. The one thing that always confused me is, why didn't they charge him with a drug conspiracy? I mean, there's ample evidence of drug use throughout the whole thing. It wouldn't take that much to convict him of a drug conspiracy, and the guidelines would be much higher, and there'd be mandatory minimums. There's no mandatory minimum here. That by itself might be enough to dispose of Combs' challenge, but the other factors don't do much to help Combs either. The rapper's legal team argued that the sex trafficking and racketeering evidence could have prejudiced the jury. Judge Subramanian also rejected the spillover prejudice argument, pointing to this split verdict. I mean, here's the thing. It was no question in anybody's mind that he hired hookers to come in, male or otherwise. Who wants to watch somebody screw their partner, honestly? I mean, sex is supposed to be loving. It's supposed to be caring. It's supposed to be, oh my God, that was just so wonderful. Come here and hold me, baby. I mean, that's the way, not this, display of somebody banging your partner. Ugh. God, I just want to take your brain out and scrub it, don't you? After hearing all this stuff, it weighs heavily that the jury declined to convict him on any of the counts related to that conduct, Subramanian wrote. Had the prejudice indeed been so great, one would expect the jury to convict on the most relevant counts before it could spill over to infect the others. In other words, it didn't affect the other counts. A jury convicted Diddy on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution on July 2nd. That "I'll be missing you" rapper was acquitted of the most serious charges, the sex trafficking and the racketeering charges. Diddy could spend a maximum of 20 years behind bars. That'll never happen. 10 years for each count. That's the statutory maximum. That won't happen. The prosecutor recommended 135 months for his sentencing. 135 months. Now, I'm not entirely sure. I don't have all the sentencing factors, but you could double this up. So if we have 18, 27, or 33 months, and you double it up for a second count, that means the guidelines could be as high as 75 months. He's already spent a year in, right? This is the other thing that the prosecution said. Incredibly, while the defendant conceded his acts of violence and abuse throughout the trial, he now argues that the victims should shoulder the blame. So in other words, I haven't seen what the defense has filed for their. So here's what happens. You get convicted of it, whether you plead or you have a trial and convicted. You have what's called a pre-sentence report that's created by probation. So they meet with you, and in all likelihood, they didn't talk with Diddy about the facts, but they go through his background. They go through his family, his finances. They go through his criminal history and his social history and medical and mental history. Okay. They go through all this stuff. Then they also go through the facts of the case, and they create a report for the judge. And then what the judge does is, well, first of all, they send that to the parties first. And then the parties look at it and say, can we object to this, or this? And they're going to object to all the inclusion of anything that was acquitted. However, the judge can take into consideration acquitted conduct. So just so you know, that is something that the judge can take into consideration. That's why this is not your typical Mann Act kind of case. There's so much conduct here. So, I mean, even if you don't believe it was sex trafficking, or if it wasn't racketeering, there's still so much conduct there, right? And if the judge believes that there's any kind of coercion at all, then they can add that 4-point enhancement. And you multiply that by 2 because there's a second count. Now you're looking at a significant prison sentence. The prosecution's asking for 135 months. The defense is asking for acquittal of all the charges and a new trial at the very least. And then they're asking for him to be released. Let's see, what does the defense say? Diddy's team proposed a 14-month sentence ahead of the October 3rd hearing for federal charges of transportation, in a sense, time served. He's already spent 13 months behind bars. Combs' lawyers claim the musician had been sufficiently punished for his crimes. I'm going to give you my prediction here. Combs has suffered physically and mentally, and continued incarceration serves no positive goal. Courts do not simply punish, but must restore and rehabilitate with a goal to returning the convicted person to their community as soon as practicable. The sentencing memorandum obtained by Fox News Digital stated, upon release, Mr. Combs fully intends to abide by every order of this court, to renew and repair relationships that have been damaged in a healthy, positive, and lawful manner without baby oil. Or it doesn't say the baby oil comment. After embarking on his journey, Mr. Combs will devote attention to his family and community and to creating new initiatives and opportunities for others. And then they've got a picture of him here in a fucking towel in the hallway. Oh, so what happens next? So the defense and the government, they get the pre-sentence report. They file objections, like, for example, on the inclusion of other crimes or other victims, if they're more than one victim, they can object to that enhancement. you've got one side asking for 130, and then what happens after you get those objections filed? Then you get the final report, and then each side files their sentencing memorandum, and it basically gives you their position. And now we have the defense asking for 14 months, essentially time served, and that the state or the government is asking for 135 months. Big gap there, right? So the other thing that happens is you get all these letters of support. There was a pastor that wrote a letter. I'm not going to read you the letter, but he wrote a letter, and then you got Gina's last word. So I felt pressured to feel like a victim. I told them I was not, but they insisted I was. I understand they concluded that I had been sex trafficked and involved in forced prostitution. I did not agree. Some of that might sway the day, but here's the other thing. It's important behavior no matter what. And Cassie Ventura, she'll submit a victim impact. I still have nightmares and flashbacks on a regular, everyday basis, and continue to require psychological care to cope with my past. My worries that Sean Combs or his associates will come after me and my family is a reality. I have, in fact, moved from my family out of the New York area, and I'm keeping him private and quiet as I possibly can because I'm so scared that if he walks free, his first actions will be to swift retribution towards me and others who spoke up about his abuse at trial. Cassie, I'm sure, will give that letter to the court, and the court's going to take that into consideration. The court sees his abuse. So the court's not confined to just the simple act of hiring a prostitute. And, the court can look at the whole picture and say, this is what I think needs to happen. Now, the guidelines are not mandatory. They're advisory. So the judge, as long as he's reasonable and there's a logical conclusion flowing from his decision, there's a lot of latitude that the court can, have when imposing a sentence. And the court can impose a sentence that does take into account acquitted conduct. So he wasn't convicted of beating Cassie, but the court can take that into consideration when he fashions a remedy in this case, and he looks at the whole person. So the prosecution's asking for 135. The defense is asking for 14.
Why don't you own apartment buildings? Seriously, why don't you own these big apartment buildings? And I get it. You might be thinking right now, well, Tyler, my word.
You want my prediction? I'm not going to give it to you. No, I'm just joking. It's hard to say because a guideline sentence could be somewhere in the 56 to 63 months. And I think that's where the sentence is going to come down. Somewhere in the 56 to 63 months. If he whacks him on the high end of things, I mean, this was clearly just absolute.
So he said between 56 and 60 months. He was almost on point with the 50 months.
Really egregious conduct, no matter how you slice it. Even if it wasn't. See, the thing about it is it didn't have to be sex trafficking or racketeering for it to be a bad case. If you look at just the hiring and making her do this.
Pretty much after hearing this and hearing him at 56 months and hearing that he got 50 months, I can say that this is a good lawyer to listen to because he's pretty accurate. I mean, he was accurate with that, in my opinion. But they say Diddy was crying after he got the 50 months. It wasn't like a win to him. But I mean, 50 months isn't a win to nobody. That's 4 years. And I don't know how you could I don't know how you could do that right now. Anytime. But I'm finna show y'all here. This is how some people felt about Diddy. I wanna know what y'all think. I think 50 months was valid.
More breaking news. It's saying that Sean Diddy Combs has just been sentenced to 50 months of incarceration by the judge. That would be minus the 14 months that he's already served. Right now, I do want to head out to our
He
Fox
gonna
5 New
do
York team as they do have extensive coverage. Again,
40, he
TMZ
gonna
right
do
there
38
saying
months.
Diddy sentenced to 4 years in
So he
prison.
got 2
More
years.
breaking news, it's saying that Sean Diddy Combs has just been sentenced to
He got
50 months of
2 years
incarceration.
and some change. 38 months. He got 24 months. Yeah. No, he got 3 years to do. But they say he was crying in the courtroom, man.
A federal judge handed down a sentence in the high-profile Sean Diddy Combs trial. The rapper was convicted on federal prostitution charges back in July. Let's go right now to Fox News national correspondent CB Cotton outside of the courthouse. CB?
Hey, Will, yeah, the judge moments ago sentencing Sean Diddy Combs to 4 years behind bars, telling the court he took into consideration that Diddy was self-made, someone who lifted up others, supported his family. He noted that Diddy did a lot of this while even battling addiction, but he said he had to consider all of the rapper's history. And he said that specifically, he said, quote, a history of good works can't wash away the record. He pointed out that two of Diddy's accusers and former girlfriends, Cassie Ventura and a woman who testified under the pseudonym Jane, he talked about their testimony specifically. The judge pointing out that after Diddy publicly apologized for the leaked video of him assaulting Cassie, that Diddy assaulted his current girlfriend, Jane. And this sentence handed down 4 years behind bars for Sean Diddy Combs. It comes after Diddy pleaded for mercy, stood up and addressed the judge inside the courtroom. In a shaken voice, he apologized to Cassie Ventura. He apologized to that former girlfriend, again known as Jane. And he said he was sorry to all other victims of domestic violence. Diddy called his own behavior disgusting, shameful, and sick. And he said it cost him his career, his reputation, and his family. He also then turned in the courtroom to his children and apologized for letting them down, saying that he had not been the father they deserved. And he really pleaded with the judge to give him another chance. But again, ultimately, Will, we now know that the disgraced media mogul, who was once at the height of the music industry, has now been sentenced to 4 years behind bars. The judge said that any of Diddy's past good works could not overstate the record in this case. The witness testimony from women who said they had to endure years of physical and emotional abuse at the hands of the rapper. Will, I want to send it back over to you.
Quick follow-up, CB. The prosecution was looking for anywhere around 11 years, and the defense team for Diddy was looking for.
So they was trying to give him 11. He got 4 years. Shout out to that lawyer. He was right on point. He was close. He was at 56 months. He thought he was going to get. Diddy got 50 months. I mean, he got 3 years he got to do, man. You know, couple calendars, he'll be out. He'll be all right. He was saying it wasn't no clean water in there, but he don't know. That's like tap water. What people got out here is not clean water. You know, that's coming from the plant. He's like, it's no access to clean water. Yeah, it's bad in there. It's bad. But that's the same water they giving to the people out here in the streets as well. So what y'all think, man? Y'all think 50 months was too much? You think he's gonna be able to knock that out? Or how much time you think he should have got? They wanted him to do 11 years would have killed Diddy. He would have been institutionalized. Anything over 4 years, in my opinion, 4 to 5 years, you become institutionalized. This might affect it. Being in there for them 3 years, being in there for a year, institutionalized. I mean, but you know you coming home. 4 years is like a long time. That's calendars. You got to get comfortable being in them. And I'm not the one to explain. I never did no time, but 4 years is a lot, man. Now I want to show y'all James Lee. He got the video of the year right now. I'm gonna play this for y'all before we get out, but James Lee. I'm going he pretty much got the video out right now that's just exposing this situation that I know everybody probably like they tired of right now. James Lee putting up, but this is probably the biggest video online right now, exposing the truth to this situation of Kirk. But
I wasn't going to talk about this, but now it's just
I
got
gotta get to this. This
too
is
weird, too dark.
This is
I don't know. There's just something very off about Erica Kirk.
There is a lot of content to be had, and we have so many amazing things down the
like when y'all realize what she is connected with. Oh my gosh. And I hope they don't flag my channel. I'm just trying to bring people awareness. I ain't on trying to all of that censorship y'all got going on. So please, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to give awareness to the people. Because they going hard on
a pipeline that we are working on currently that will
unveil in due time.
Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that like button on the algorithm, man. Send your boy something in the trap. They definitely trying to suppress channels.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
It's like lady, didn't your husband just get his face blown off like 2 seconds ago? And not to be insensitive about it, but everyone's thinking it. No one wants to be the asshole. No one wants to say it. Everyone's thinking it.
Hey, he said it. I didn't. And just for the record, a lot of people have been talking about Erica Kirk for a few weeks now. I didn't really want to do it because I thought it was a little too soon, a little insensitive, but now I think I have to because the evidence regarding her past is at this point too overwhelming. So,
too overwhelming. I want to know what y'all think when y'all see this. This dude just broke the internet with this. I want to know what y'all think about this, man. Do you think she's shiesty?
Let's get into it. Starting at the very beginning, Erica was born Erica Lane Fronsvie. Her yearbook quote reads, "Leaders are made, they are not born." Now keep that in mind as we dive deeper here. Her father, Kent Fronsvie, as reported by Ron Unz, once chaired the Israel division of the arms corporation Raytheon, linking her family directly to Israel's military-industrial complex. Just a coincidence, I am sure. And then in an interview from a few years ago, Erica stated that the reason she moved to Arizona was because her mother was, quote, getting involved with the government.
She was getting involved with the government, so Homeland Security and Department of Defense.
Mother in Homeland Security and Defense, father supplied weapons to Israel. Just another nice coincidence there.
No.
Those will keep piling up. As you can see here in 2012, she won a beauty pageant owned by Donald Trump and then became Miss Arizona. After that, she tried to get into entertainment. She appeared in some music videos, this one from a country music band. But then at age 23, she does something kind of interesting, which is to set up an evangelical Christian organization called Everyday Heroes Like You, which developed a program called Romanian Angels, which advocated for adoptions, family reunifications, and deinstitutionalization policies for orphan children. And it operated from about 2011 to 2015. Those dates are important, which I'll get back to in a second. But yeah, I don't know. This whole thing seems kind of like a weird thing to do, to go to Romania to start a charity. This next part is where it gets super dark. According to Unz, behind the slogan, "Helping God's Forgotten Children Find Wings," her organization was actually suspected of having been involved in child trafficking. Whoa, yeah, those are some heavy claims. So I looked into it deeply. Obviously, I started with the mainstream fact checkers who say that there is absolutely no evidence of this claim, of course, but I'm here to report that we actually do have some evidence. This is from a Romanian newspaper. This headline is translated, but it reads, "A former translator from the American base in the city of Romania," that I'm not going to pronounce, accuses, and she says that it's a real brothel operated here where minors were brought in. Quote, "Anna Maria Nasiu was until recent years a translator at the American base," once again, city, can't pronounce it, Romanian name, Everything seemed to be normal until Anna Maria discovered that in this military unit belonging to NATO forces, there was a real brothel where underage girls came to satisfy the desires of some soldiers, especially the commander of the Black Sea Area Support Team.
Y'all see that? It's going to bring names and say names. So now my point is, he's going to show that this was a whole setup, bro. Check
base. Otto Buscher. Okay, Otto Buscher. Remember that name. This next part is where the dots will connect. Okay, I'm going to show you this video right here that was posted by Erica Kirk, then Erica Franzfi, on Vimeo. Basically, it's a commercial for Romanian Angels, and it was posted in 2013.
I believe that we all have angels in our lives, and these are my little angels from Antonio Placement Center in Constanța, Romania.
Sounds like some Epstein stuff to me.
Most people are too lazy to do this, but it saves homeowners a fortune.
Our goal with the Romanian Angels Project was to show these children the true American heart during the holiday season.
Okay, anyways, it's basically a fluff video, but at the end, the person she thanks is none other than Colonel Otto Buscher. Yeah, here is a copy of the criminal complaint. It is in Romanian, but you can see the name Otto Buscher, and the years 2011 to 2013 is when these alleged crimes took place. So the person that Erica Kirk was working with in Romania to quote unquote help orphan children was accused of, not good. And you might be like, why have I never heard of this? Well, there's something called the U.S.-Romania Defense Cooperation Agreement that was signed back in 2005, wherein crimes committed by U.S. military personnel on Romanian bases used by U.S. forces fall under U.S. jurisdiction, especially if they occur while on duty or within the installations. So essentially, everything was just swept under the rug. This guy, Otto Buscher, just retires. And according to my research, here's his LinkedIn. He's like having a nice, quiet retirement in New Hampshire. Erica Kirk's Romanian Angels mysteriously just shuts down shortly thereafter. She then keeps a pretty low profile until she is set up on a TPUSA interview with Charlie Kirk, and they fall in love, they get married, and you won't believe this, but their wedding was actually funded by TPUSA. So very interesting. And fast forward, as we all know now, Charlie Kirk dies a gruesome death, and she takes over as CEO of Turning Point with the new organization now much more powerful than it ever was. So it's almost like Charlie is more valuable to them dead than alive. Not going to say this is a honeypot. I've gotten in trouble for that before, but something doesn't seem right here, especially because if you just look at Turning Point right now, they're not asking any more questions. They're ready to move on. They're ready to fundraise. Erica looks happy as a clam, and Charlie is basically in the rearview mirror at this point, even before we really have all the facts. Something just feels wrong here to me. And so unless you have something to gain from Charlie being dead, we should all still be asking the questions and demanding all the answers. My name is James Lee. This is the 5149 Show. Sound off in the comment section below. What do you think of all this? What do you think of the evidence that you've seen today? What do you think is going on? Do you think there's a cover-up happening, both in terms of the Romanian Angel situation and with Charlie Kirk's assassination? If you want to support my journalism, please take a second to like this video, share it with as many friends and family as possible, subscribe, hit that notification bell. It would help me out a lot. I appreciate your time. See you in the next one.
USA 2012, Erica Franzfi. Congratulations.
She exposed, man. She exposed, but the people backing her too powerful. Sacrificing people is regular-ish in the reptilian. For real, man. She's exposed, though. She's definitely exposed. The connections is there, but it's like, dang. I'm shocked how people got duped by Trump. Because I was thinking Trump really for America. I thought, you know what, Trump, you know, but he seems like he's from America. To see that he's doing what he's doing with other countries, bro, is like crazy. I never would have thought Trump would have been taking that money overseas like that. And I wasn't even for Trump, but I just thought, white guy, you know, he's probably American, probably pro-America. To know that he ain't even pro-American is crazy to me. And people really they still rock with him. Trump is an employee, bro. Trump is not a boss, bro. I'm sorry. That's going to hurt a lot of people feeling, but Trump ain't him. He's not him. I think them people got something on Trump, bro. Like, I never thought I would have seen Trump and been like, bro, he act like a boss, but he's not, bro, at all. He for the money. He pro-self, right? that rhymes too. But yeah, I thought he was for America, though, at least. You know what I'm saying? I would have thought maybe the Democrats was gonna be on that money. You know what I'm saying? Taking money. Now I'm like, and you know what's crazy, y'all? It's on both sides. Like, they send money, and I just like to keep it real with the people, right? This is out, and this is what white men is putting this stuff out, and I'm just like, I'm really just giving it to my audience, really, but it seems like they be wanting to punish me. They had something called Factually, where it shows the exact how much money that was sent. And you know, it's all of these new sites. I'm gonna just tell y'all about it. But pretty much they sent 2.5 million. They sent 2.5 million to Democrats and 2.7 million to Republicans. So it's like they're sending money on both sides, bro. They controlling both of them. So it's like anybody who's one or the other is like, bro, you gotta watch this video. This video right here, and how this lady got to the position of where she at. She was running a whole other organization that had problems with kids. We see it again, these pale faces with kids, bro. And it gets swept under the rug. I think this is the more the problem. Marquis said, Donald Trump worsens health. He's been suffering from many strokes. Shout out to Gary, man. Yeah, Gary, it's crazy, man. This is crazy. To think that this woman was over kids and they were getting, you know, it was a brothel for them. That's just a whole nother level. But this what America is right now, man. It's like it's duping people, and it's like it's more the Caucasian people that's really getting duped, in my opinion. It's like we've been through it, so we kind of know, like, man, these people ain't right. They ain't never, if they ain't gonna be right by us, they ain't gonna be right by nobody, bro. So that's just my take on it. But yeah. They just bought TikTok too, man. Let me show y'all that. They just bought TikTok, and they like, bro, they doing so much crazy stuff. Let me show y'all what's really going on right now. They banning him. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me, man, so I could be on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that.
I didn't want to be bald any longer.
If you're daydreaming about having more hair, this is it. This is the way to get there.
I chose Restore because by far they are the best. Such a great team of people.
They got you to believe that somehow TikTok was this subversive thing from the spying on you by China. So that got everybody to go, oh God, we can't have China owned our TikTok. So now let's give it to Israel and Zionists. And now they're coming after Twitter. They're coming after X in the same way. Oh, they're spreading anti-Semitic. We got to force a sale of Twitter. We got to force a sale. We got to make Elon Musk force it. Israel owns both Democrats and Republicans through AIPAC. Your content is against our community guidelines. The guidelines include rules and standards for using TikTok that apply to everyone and everything on our platform. Comment removed. Israel owns both Democrats and Republicans through AIPAC. Comment removed.
Oh, I wish China was back in charge.
Here's another one. Google 61% Israeli men. They took that one down. Have you ever Googled 61% Israeli men? It's not good. If you Google it, it says that 61% consider acquaintance grape, not grape.
That's a fact.
So take
Israelis.
They did a survey. The survey was back in 2011, but that's what that refers to.
Now, do y'all see? I just showed y'all the video, and it had stuff about little kids. And now we get to this video, and it's the same thing we hearing about little kids. This what like gets me the most, to know that it's little kids that's being affected.
So so according to this tweet, they posted Google 61% Israeli men, and that got removed by the IDF censor. So they're censoring this, Kurt. Do you have any idea what this is about?
Okay.
So you see this? A picture of a juice box with an apple. Your comment has been removed because of policy violations. What? First they came for the juice boxes, and I said nothing. I don't either.
No idea what that means.
There's another
juice boxes. You see how weird that is?
Other one.
What we got?
9-year-old Benayas from Gaza is sending his message to the global Samud flotilla. Visibility restricted. This video is not eligible for the For You feed because it violates our community standards. Ifran Hosan Abir says, I uploaded it to TikTok, but it was flagged for violating guidelines, allows abusive and vulgar content, but videos about Palestine is restricted. There's another one here. See another one? There's another one.
Gary.
It wouldn't have changed anything. We would have no control. If voting worked, they wouldn't let us do it. Content can't be restored. It was determined that your content violated our community guidelines. What? It's crazy what's happening. Here's another one. Here's James Lee. The new TikTok algorithm update is working wonders for Israel. You'll notice the last post I made before the update was a story about Trump fearing for his life because of Israel, which is up with no issues. But 2 stories I posted since have both been taken down. Okay. Wow.
You're going to be on your best behavior.
Wow.
Well, every time I see Larry Ellison, I'm so happy that guy has got a lot of power over what I can see.
Yep.
The second you look at him, you go, wow, he's got great taste in plastic surgery.
I like
great taste in what I should be able to look at.
So Glenn Greenwald retweeted the one about Democrats and Republicans are both controlled by Israel through AIPAC. Do some research.
I'm going to show y'all. So it looked like Elon Musk is clapping back. I'm going to go over what Trail just sent me. Shout out to that Trail, though. Seemed like he coming back at him. He like, yo, if y'all want to play ball, we finna play ball.
So he retweeted it. Glenn Greenwald says, there were 2 venues in the U.S. where Israel criticisms thrived, U.S. campuses and TikTok. The campus problems was solved by Trump's new hate speech codes, firing professors, and DEI for Jewish students. The TikTok problem was solved by giving it to the IDF financier, Larry Ellison.
What are you going to do about Twitter, though? He's on Twitter saying
no,
that,
they're
so
coming.
Stop Twitter.
They're coming after Twitter. You saw the video of Netanyahu. He said next is Twitter.
Yeah,
you saw that. I played it on the show with Max Blumenthal. Yeah. Maybe you didn't see it.
No, I saw it this morning and I was delighted.
Yeah,
white guy talk this, bro.
Israel has completely lost Generation Z, and taking over TikTok won't undo 2 years of live stream genocide. Alarming survey. U.S. college students prefer Palestinians as an ally over Israel.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
doodle. I bet Larry Ellison, though, that young, hot billionaire who
can't
totally
wait to get
believable
into it.
eye lift surgery. He'll get the young people back, and his cool kids.
And his cool kids get. They have. This is the new logo for TikTok.
It's 3D. I don't have 3D glasses. But
Called Z-Talk. They call it Z-Talk now.
Ooh, I like the Star of Epstein logo there.
I like what this is the four.
Now I'm gonna show y'all. This is what Trev sent. Okay, I don't want to get into too much because they going hard. You know what I'm saying? Them white guys can say things we can't say. They'll end up canceling my whole channel. For me even playing like that. But here I'm finna get into what Elon Musk cancels Netflix. Okay, I'm gonna pull that up right now. I think this is payback. I think he now who owns Netflix? Right, so now I'm finna show y'all this. Shout out to Trail for that, though. It definitely aligns itself. So here it is. Your boy Elon Musk. And I think he ain't, I don't know. I don't think Elon Musk going.
It's not the park.
I don't think
It's me. I'm trans, Norma. And everyone at school knows, and everyone at home knows. And being here, it's like a whole new place. I can just be Barney. And I can choose if and when I tell people. I've never been happier. And that's saying something when I spent today chased by terrifying zombie mascots. Pugsley reminded me how important it is to live your life without apology. So I think I gotta give living here a shot. Don't you?
So Elon Musk off the news man cancel that subscription. Must charge against Netflix following recent in the bisexual field. Yeah. That in first aired in 2016. Spike Lee, same year, yeah. Damn, that's wild. I'm about to cancel mine, bro. I ain't with all that. Yeah. How y'all feel about this? I'm with them. Cancel. I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna tell them can't have Netflix. That's what you think it was, Trail. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut Netflix down. Indian or black? She got some melody.
It's been 3 weeks since Charlie Kirk
Yeah.
was murdered
You
in the
ain't
most
got no
horrific way
kids.
imaginable. And
That's totally different.
Democrat Ilhan Omar just can't find it in her heart to say anything respectful about the brilliant Charlie Kirk. Listen to this.
I have nothing to apologize for. You know, it is a tragedy that Charlie Kirk was killed in that way. I feel for his widow and his children. They will have to live with that for the rest of their lives. But there is no legacy to honor. It was a legacy filled with bigotry, hatred, and white supremacy. And as a Black woman and as a Muslim in this country, I refuse I refuse to join the chorus that changes the history of what is on the record from this man.
CJ, she says there's no legacy to honor, again, calling him a white supremacist. Can I get your thoughts?
You know, it's absolutely disgusting and insane.
So y'all see, man, with the Netflix, with the TikTok, y'all already know YouTube. I don't know what they got on my, what they've been doing with me, but it's like, they pushing me to talk. It's like I can tell if I put on something on charts on white or something, they pushing. Anytime I'm talking about them people, they do not, it's just not the same. And everybody is saying that. It ain't just me. I even was seeing what Sabi Sad was saying. But that's what we got, man. Friday. Diddy got 4. Y'all, we got to spread that information about that lady Erica, man. I don't want to do too much on my channel, but y'all got to spread that information, bro. I think it got something to do with kids. And it just, every time I'm running around my investigation and running through stuff and I'm getting information, it always turns me back to innocent kids. It makes me think like this is way bigger than what we think it is. And we got to do something, bro. Like, having orphanage kids go to another country is crazy work. Crazy work. Bringing an orphanage kid out of the United States is weird. I gotta hold you, like, to even be on something like that, knowing that they don't have parents. Like, what would parents say? Like, nah, man, don't leave them kids. But that's what's going on, man. Kids that don't got the parents and stuff like that, they are going to get abused. They don't got no protection. It's crazy. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I had to tap in on that. Me and Trev gonna put something together on Sunday. We're gonna do it big. But yeah, man, gotta get back to work. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all hit that like button too for me. Push me the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that. Shout out to Introvert Rockstar, man. Shouted me out on his channel today on his live. Appreciate you, everybody who came in from over there. So listen, I catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.